I feel like I've always had this passion and knack for doing crafty things, especially making things out of nothing. This one, I drew another shape, and we did the same process. And she always says to us, "Don't let people see you doing that because they're gonna think you crazy." Because we were doing, you see adults drop, and then we have to bend over and draw all of these shapes and color it in. And then the outcome is going to be, she wants you to know about patterns and shapes and how they affect art. And this square here was supposedly to be the free square. So I did one because these are patterns and these are all textures. And this one actually can be removed. It's like a peephole. So I did an extra one. An extra one where I did, this is rice, grains of rice. So I did two patterns. These are stripes. And I did color, green and white. And it's here. And she says, "Wanda, you just inspired me. I want to add this into our her curriculum." So I thought that was neat. Right here you have our project 2 from the Art 116 3D comp class, Bryce Myers schools here at Windward, and it's called assemblage. And what we were told or asked to do was to go and gather things that we see and put it together, and it can make a statement. It can be about some of our beliefs. And so with my experience with outrigger canoe racing, I see so many bottle caps all the time because paddlers are always hydrating. And we held the race, the state race this summer. And so all that overflow of rainwater had come down from the mountains into the Ke'ehi Lagoon. And eventually it gathered into a little cul-de-sac, and then we were trying to prevent it from going out to the ocean. So many paddlers and volunteers came for 2 days, and we cleaned and pitchforked tons of garbage and debris. You'd be surprised what we pulled out. If you look at this man-made reef, it's a couple egg cartons, and it's your plate lunch boxes. The plastic that's over draping it is supposed to symbolize the different depths of the ocean. Cans are always floating. In the clams here, I have pills because it's killing off all of small marine life on the coral. And as you know, we have a big concern about the coral here. So then I thought, okay, a turtle. The reason why he's not all green, he's sick because of all of our pollution. His eyeballs are made out of pills that go into the ocean. There's several what I call senior citizens here that are coming back to school. And we always joke about it. We want to call ourselves the sorority, which is fraternity and sorority. And these are like people like me, retired. And I think it's wonderful that we come back to school because, you know, as people talk about Alzheimer's and dementia, and they say the brain is like a muscle that needs to be massaged. So I totally believe in it. So my coming back to school is to keep that brain always, you know, massaged. And I want to be a role model, Kupuna, to the younger students here, that many times when you're forced to go to school by your parents, oh, everybody needs to obtain a college degree, that you're not ready for it. And so sometimes you just come to, I guess, to humor your parents, but at the same time, you're not really ready for school, so you go through the motions. And I'm hoping to show the students that at my age, if I can come back to school, and this is for my children and my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, that when I told my daughter that I was back at school, she says, "Mom, let us know when you're finished." Like, she didn't have much hope for me to finish. And we'll come to your graduation. So I'm hoping that I can be an example to the other students. But I also want them to learn that I learned it the hard way. I earned money. I was able to pay a mortgage and have my place to live, but I would have been able to do it easier had I had a college degree. And I don't believe that college is for everybody and that you have to have a 4-year degree. You should have some degree, but I sure hope the colleges will move into the direction of splitting that 4-year into 2 years of academia and maybe 2 years of life skills. Because I find a lot of students that leave school don't even have the foggiest what it's like to be in the outside real world. And I find it very neat to be in the class, and some of our senior students say, "Don't you feel great when you're with the younger kids? Because it kind of makes you not feel like you're an old person. You know, you still feel young around the young." Windward is such a, I hate to say it, but it's like an Ohana campus.
You will not find a campus here with the kind of warmth that the people here, give to one another. So Windward is my favorite campus. I'm hoping, and I work here in the Math Center, and I'm fortunate enough to be a tutor to people in the Math 75X students, and I peer mentor a study group for Math 100. And so the professor said to me, Wanda, we want you to stay here. And I said, I don't want to go on to a 4-year college. I want to stay here. And then I was, later on in my life, I was invited by Kāne District Park to teach in their summer fund program. It has been inside me, and it was when I went to work for the United States Census Bureau in 1999 that I was asked, oh, do you have some college? And I mentioned my 1997 I was home carrying both of my parents, and my mom had passed. And I never pursued to find out what my grades were. And it was strange when the census asked me and I went to retrieve my GPA or my whatever class that I attended here. And I was surprised that I had a 4.0, I had an A, yeah. See, the thing is, parents came up to me and wanted to know where I had graduated from, what art school, and I told them I didn't have any credentialing. And it always made me feel inferior that I didn't have that kind of credentialing. Like I was teaching under false pretenses. My short-term goal is to just get my liberal arts degree, and if I can obtain that, I'm just ecstatic. But the other barrier to my finishing school, and I want to go on to get my bachelor's in fine arts, would be that I'm a cancer survivor. And lo and behold, if it, like people say, are you cured? And I say, well, I like to say it's arrested, because we never know. So I would love to have those two, what I would call bucket list items, taken care of here at Windward. I came here in 2015, like I told you, in the early part of the senior visitor program. And then I actively enrolled in February of 2016 and entered into the fall, I believe it was 2016 going into 2017. That was my first semester as a freshman. And then I'm currently now in spring 2017. I would love to be a peer mentor for the students, to say that you can do it, no matter how late, because, as people are finding out that there is money out there, the government does have money, and as a past government worker, I was just so surprised, in fact, that I had access to grant monies, because I was a taxpayer all these years. I would never know that, and I believe a lot of local people don't even know that. They don't know that, they have access to this. So I would love to shorten people's walk when they want to go through college, and they are afraid, they're ashamed at their age, they're ashamed because they don't think they have the money, and kind of walk them through it, because I've been through it. I was turned down my first semester when I tried and applied for several scholarships, and I understand, because in my retirement, I'm not able, they think I'm only coming to school just to fill time, but I want to be an inspirational and maybe a motivational speaker to let people know that there are fundings that they can access, but they just don't even know the first step to act.